Hi, this is Kate from Fabricated Quilts. We had a request for some instruction on this continuous border loop. So mine is the 2-inch, and that's the width here. So 1 inch, 1 inch, and then it's 5 inches top to bottom. So this is a channel that I've made that's 5 inches, and I marked the center because this template has a center line that can be used to move it along as you go. So I'm going to sew down. This would be the boundary or the border if there was a sashing or something like this. So we'll assume that that's the seam, and this is how we'll do the first shape that will go in there. So I've got it lined up on the center. The needle is at the top of the boundary, and I'm lined up right down here on this line, which will bring my foot right into there, and the needle should end right at that bottom boundary. So I have already pulled up my thread, so we'll just sew along. Okay, now when I'm down here at the bottom, I just need to scoot over, and then I'll get everybody lined up again. Let's see if we can pull this so you can see it. Okay, so the foot is just scooted over. We were over there, and we'll just move over like this. Get our center lines lined up. And there's a marking, so I'll show you right here, which would let you line up right on the existing stitch line right there. And that's going to keep these so that they're parallel to each other instead of kind of dipping in. And there's also a little bit of a visual reference here for us to get lined up on that existing stitch line. So we'll line that up. All right, and then we'll just do the next one. And if we line up right here, we should be able to just kiss right there. Looks like maybe I need one more stitch right there. And then we'll scoot over, get those same alignments lined up, get all of our fabric lined right up on the existing stitch line. So you can see right here, it's all lined up. And then I also may want to tug it just a little bit, make sure that my boundary and my center lines and everybody are all lined up. So that way we can make sure that everybody will fit. So right here, this should be 1/4 inch, so that they'll just kiss right there. Okay, and then same thing, just scoot over, check all your lines, get everybody lined up right on the existing stitch line, and then you should be able to sew. So there's not really a lot of flipping around with this template. It's just scooting to one side. As always, Leonie West has those great reference marks that make it really easy to get everybody lined up. So just line up on the existing stitch line. Make sure your fabric is aligned on the center. So that'll help keep everybody nice and even. And looks like we're good here. I'm going to check that because that looks just a little bit large. So I'm going to make sure that I'm right on the reference line. Oh, perfect. There we go. That little adjustment made a big difference so that we weren't overlapping, that we're just kissing. So we'll do one more, and then we'll be done. Just getting everybody nice and lined up. Make sure my fabric is fitting the way that it should. There we go. Okay, now I'll show you real quick. We'll go ahead and take this out. And if this was the end of the boundary, you know, essentially we would have that. So we could get everybody lined up. We can use our spacing gauge right there on the back end. Right there. So let's see. Let's make sure you can see that. Let's flip that around. All right, so here, try to get everybody lined up. And then this is the 1/4 inch spacing right there. And that would let us essentially close out that edge of the design right there. All right, there you go. All right, this would be really fun. Let's see if we can play with this, right? So let's do something crazy. Okay, touching here. Let's see if we can. Put this on. Okay, so what am I going to do here? I'm going to put my 1/4 inch spacer. Let's see, do we need to line it up just so? I think we need to scoot it down just a little bit because we want to come down to the end. So right there, there's your 1/4 inch space. Okay, and then we'll scoot across the bottom. How do I know when to stop? When the foot is touching the design on this side, we'll stop. Okay. So we need to come in just a little bit. We're going to keep that 1/4 inch spacing, right? So here we'll stop when the foot is touching up here. Right? And then we'll switch it around. Quarter inch. I think we need to go just one stitch more. There we go. Okay, and then we'll just come across till the foot is touching. So I'm going to scoot this guy out just a little bit so that I can get down to the bottom. So I'm just going to kind of play with that spacing just a little bit. And if your eyeball's really good, you can eyeball it too. Too far. There we go. And one more. Right there. I think we need to scoot down just a little. Right there. And we'll come across to the last one. And we'll just finish the design. All right, so we'll take this off really quick. And we'll show you. So there you go. This helps put a little bit more definition in there. Of course, you can always, you know, fill alternating spaces if you want, or you could fill down here, and that will give you something else. You can always do some kind of veining in here, which would, you know, be a little free travel. But there is 2 quick ideas and how to align the CBL number 2 by 5. And these, any of these continuous border loops that I call them the fishy ones, they're going to align just the same. Okay, and there's more ways you can do it. You can make this shape and you could spin it and then you can do the fishy on this side, and then you would have to travel back to the halfway. So you might want to take your center line and mark that, or, you know, have a center line that you're aligning. And then there is a line right there. It's covered up by the stable tape. And as you align your fish, you can have kissing fish, and then tail to tail fish and kissing fish. And then that would be the 2-inch width. That is the width of this particular one, whatever the width would be showing. So to me, this is the height from the top to the bottom. It's 5. And then the width is this narrower dimension. So I will post this on Fabricated Quilts and enjoy. And I thank you to our new group member that requested that information.